Hello everyone and welcome to a new video on the channel. I'm Adam and this is Battle of the Beast Specials Generation Episode 3. Kragos and Kildor, the two-headed demon, versus Creta, the winged terror. This is the third battle of round 1, as you can tell probably by the episode number, and also because this is the third battle, I guess. It is the third battle. Right, so quick disclaimer. This is what I see as another not very interesting battle matchup, because I personally think the winner is kind of obvious. But their powers are kind of equal with their strengths and their weaknesses. It's going to be interesting trying to find a winner, but I think I see the winner right here. So, without any further ado, let's get into it. Right, okay, we're going to start things off by straight away saying the environment, a rocky environment, a rocky area in the combat arena, of course. The same the same environment or battlefield as the last battle and the battle before it. And looking at the next matchup, I think it'll probably be in the rocky terrain arena as well. So yeah, let's get into it. So, as both beasts exit from their doors, Kragos and Kildor from the front door, and Creta through the sky door. Not as Creta though, as a swarm of stabias. The stabias swirl around together and form Creta in all her glory. Kragos and Kildor run up towards Creta, jump and just go like this and to smash into Creta. Creta sees that, is aiming for her head, so she reforms her head with all the stabias putting together. Head flying in left or right direction. So then Kragos and Kildor just slams directly into the ground. Creta's head gets reformed, and Creta swings her claw and slashes down on Kragos and Kildor, which the nails get struck into Kragos and Kildor's flesh, and Creta starts dragging her claws downwards, inflicting more pain on Kragos and Kildor. Kragos and Kildor pick up a rock from either side of them, and they're just reaching back, smashes it against the claw of Creta, where Creta recoils back in pain. Letting go of Kragos and Kildor. They get up. Sorry about that. They get up and retreat temporarily to hide behind a rock. Whilst Creta sees that and has the bright idea to completely separate herself entirely into millions and probably billions of stabias and start swarming around the arena in a giant circle covering the entire sky. Kragos and Kildor look up and they can't even see the sky above them, and all the stabias stop flying round in the circle for a brief second, all turn towards Kragos and Kildor and start making a beeline straight towards them, stabbing at them, and some of them landing on them, going through every orifice through the mouth, nose and ears of each of these of Kragos and Kildor, just wandering around the insides, inflicting pain on the inside of Kragos and Kildor. The remaining stabias who didn't enter Kragos and Kildor form together to make Creta's claw, to make the actual Creta. Creta lifts her front claws and wraps it round Kragos and Kildor's waist, lifts up Kragos and Kildor whilst the bugs are still squirming around inside, just biting at every little bit of Kragos and Kildor on the inside. Kragos and Kildor are trying to hit at the waist, hit at the wrist of Creta's claws, try and make her break loose, but it's not working. Creta digs her claws into Kragos and Kildor and starts pulling left and right. Then Kragos and Kildor get the bright idea to knock heads. That's how I'm going to do what I'm about to do. They knock heads together, and they both start shrinking. Where they each turn, where one turns into a ram and the other one turns into a stag or a deer. With both of them each having still stabias inside of them, they start getting away as quick as they can. Creta roars in fury for having her prey get away, and what she does is that she I'm trying to think of a realistic way of this. She decides to go straight for the ram first, which I believe is Kragos. She flies towards the Kragos and swipes a claw, slashing at the back of Kragos, knocking him down. And before Kildor can come up and try and stop Creta, she has her claw morph into millions of stabias, and like a jet stream goes straight towards Kildor's rear right leg, stabbing at every bit of it, causing it to go numb, where Kildor just falls down to the ground, trying to get back up but can't put too much weight on it because it's injured that badly. Creta reforms her claw, and with her, which isn't really necessary now, just keep balance. With her mouth, with her claw, she pins down Kragos, and with her mouth, she puts it over Kragos' head, bites down, and as sharp as her teeth is, just bites down completely, twists a bit, and pulls, leaving Kragos' body just lying there whilst his head has been eaten by Creta. Creta turns her attention to Kildor now, and decides she wants to kill Kildor in a different way. So what she does is, with her claw, she picks up Kildor by the back legs, flings Kildor up into the air, and whilst Kildor is flung up into the air, Creta disperses herself into the stabias. So then, into the stabias, just swarming around everywhere. And whilst Kildor is falling down, just before Kildor hits the ground, roughly where Creta was, Creta starts reforming herself, and Kildor just hits the bottom of Creta's stomach. So basically what happened is, Kildor flung up, Creta disperses, and as soon as Kildor gone past what would have been Creta's back, she reforms, and Kildor just slams against the inside of Creta's stomach, leaving basically got eaten alive, but kind of got reformed, but Creta just reformed outside Kildor, was Kildor's inside Creta, basically. Kildor is confused, just inside Creta, sees Kragos' head, panics, and using his horn starts stabbing at Creta's stomach, causing Creta to feel a bit of pain. But what she does is she flies up into the air, trying to ignore the pain, disperse, so Kildor just falls down to the ground again. Creta reforms, dives back down towards Kildor. Kildor hits the ground, Creta comes straight down after, smacking into the ground, directly into Kildor, and a swarm just erupts from that whole collision, and the swarm all goes back into Creta's domain or chamber, and when the stabias clear out, we see Kragos' body lying still, half eaten from the stabias, Kragos' head just somewhere there on the other side of the arena probably, and Kildor lying motionless on the ground with bug bites all over him. With that being said, Kragos and Kildor have died. Creta, the Winged Terror, is moving on to round 2. Now, if you think Kragos and Kildor should have won, please explain why. Unfortunately, my opinion is final though. But that is Battle of the Beast episode 3. Yet again, as I said in the last video, sorry if it's not as enjoyable as my previous battles, because these aren't very interesting battles I'm doing. So I'm doing the not very interesting ones first, and then we have interesting ones towards the end of round 1. But other than that, Creta's gone through to round 2, which I'm kind of glad about, because I really want to use that whole reforming herself thing more. I'm going to speak to Lucas about that later, if I can do something else to Creta, which I wanted to do, but I chose not to for this tournament, for this battle, for a simple reason. I haven't spoken to Lucas about it to see if that's actually fair. So I'm going to talk to Lucas about it later. But anyway, join me in the next Battle of the Beast episode, which will be uploaded another day, probably tomorrow maybe, which will have Anaret, the first beast, versus Magor, Ogre of the Swamps. Now, looking at this battle matchup, not really interested. I mean, it's fairly equal with the power that both these beasts have, because they're both strength related. So yeah, okay, that's good. But unfortunately, the thing that's pulling it back is that the others, they either have a rather interesting aspect which could make the battle interesting, whereas these are just strength related. So it's just going to be like a little arm wrestle kind of thing. I don't know. Maybe give rock, paper, scissors. I don't know. But that's what it's basically going to be. Anyway, that's all for this time. If you like what you saw, leave a like, leave a comment, don't forget to subscribe, press the notification bell down in the corner below, and I'll see you next time.